Hello, beautiful people. I am not so beautiful in the moment. I promised to be completely vulnerable on this normally weird journey. And in my mind, when I made that commitment to myself, it was more so about writing vulnerably about this process of literally letting go of everything that we know and stepping into a complete world of unknowns, everything we don't know. And that, I like the two combined have been completely overwhelming for me in the last couple of weeks. The separation, the limitations that we feel like we just keep hitting on, like, oh, you don't want to do it this way, or you want to get out of your lease at a certain time, and your cell phone stuff, and having all of the logistics. That's what it is. It's all of the logistics lining up and piecing together and coming together in perfect alignment so that this is easy. Hasn't been our experience. Things happen with our cell phones, so we're like, you know what, forget AT&T. And then, but that was a month ago at this point, and we knew we had a few more months here in the States, but rather than go through the hassle of getting something else and then leaving the country, we just decided to go without cellular. And that's one example. Our lease is up at a certain time, so it's kind of like, we don't know how to gauge how long does it take for us to move furniture, everything out of the house, to, I don't want to say get rid of it, but to find new homes for it. I've never done anything like that. Everything so far that I have ever done in a move is pack up your stuff, get rid of things here and there, but then you just move the stuff. But we're not moving stuff. And that leaves us with every little thing to figure out what to do with. There's so much that I don't want to throw in the trash because we didn't have things that we would want to put in trash. So it's finding someone to sell it to, or putting it out on the curb for free, or, like having a garage sale, like so many little things, things that you never really think of, that when you move, you can just throw it into a box and it's a done deal. But it's not, like, everything isn't a done deal until it's moved out of the house, so that we have a completely empty house. That has to be done by a certain date. And what we're finding is we don't know how long it's going to take to move everything out. So we just got started posting things, and now things are selling. So we're not going to have beds here in a little bit, where we don't have a couch at this point. We're selling off, stuff, tchotchkes, which is not that big of a deal. But when people started asking about our furniture, we were kind of like, okay, let's just get rid of it now. We'll figure it out. But we might have 6 more weeks of living, where we have to be here to kind of finalize the things on this end before we can move into this new life, the new versions of ourselves. So it's all so complicated, and it all feels like, and I can understand from an outside perspective why this looks so irresponsible, like you don't have a cell phone. How do you not have a cell phone, right? And someone's like, what's your number? I'm like, well, I'm trying to explain to people what you're doing and why you don't have a cell phone. That doesn't happen very often. So people look at you like you're completely crazy. And then the next thing they say is, there's a pandemic. Like, how are you going to get around the world in a pandemic? And it's just, everybody is, talking about the limitations and asking about the limitations, and then also saying, but if you can get around that, that's awesome. What you're doing is awesome. So it's just, this whole process is opening me up to new perspectives and new opportunities to observe others' behaviors, and in telling them things about your life that is very different. And it's really cool. It's fascinating. But at the same time, all of it together is completely exhausting. I have never looked at myself in the mirror and thought, who are you? Like, I look different to myself. I haven't put makeup on, which is probably the best thing for my skin. My skin is actually doing pretty well, but at the same time, I don't do videos. I haven't up until now, but I want to be completely vulnerable. This is what I look like most days. I get up and it's like I liken it to the opposite expression of like, not doing anything for yourself because you've just given up on life and you don't care anymore. This has been a different expression of that for me. Like, I get up and just put it on because I don't care to look pretty for my family while we work through the logistics of, you know, this a dream of stepping into a dream and traveling and finding home again. So that's just kind of an update of where we are, why I look so tired, and why I wanted to be vulnerable about this process, this very process, these weeks up until we actually leave. That's the hardest part. That has been the hardest part. We've known this part was coming for months, and we've prepared for it in a lot of different ways, and that's another whole conversation. But this is the hardest doing physical energy kind of piece. It's all the logistics and figuring those out, and how do we get this, and how do we get dogs and a rat to other countries, and oh, you know, that's not easy, but yet we can't leave, you know, we're not leaving anyone behind. So now we're kind of having to get a little bit creative with the rat because countries don't want you bringing rats in. Logically, I understand that, but they don't have Luna, the super rat, and we do, and she's worth fighting for. So that's another whole part of the chaos at the moment, is figuring out what we're gonna do to get this rat into another country. So all of that to say, there's a lot going on. I'm super grateful for this normally weird community. We are growing. We're going to be doing a lot together. It might seem like, oh, you're going to stop in and see, you know, where we are on our journey, but I believe this is kind of morphing into something that's going to be more of a social community. I don't know what else to call it, but just a communal kind of space. So whatever that means, I'm grateful that you're here. I hope you stay here. It's about to get pretty exciting. We're just in the boring part, but it's really like the hardest work. It's like the birth process at this point. That's how hard it feels. And I'm really tired, y'all. I'm overwhelmed. I'm anxious as all get up. Like, it just sits right here, you know? But that's just, anxiety is just worrying about the future. And when I'm feeling it, I have to, you know, remember to bring myself back. So it's a constant process of breathing through a lot of different stuff. So everything I've ever taught professionally, any workshops, all of the tools I've ever shared or have used are completely my arsenal right now. Meditation, I stop throughout the day many times just to sit and breathe, and you know, I can call it meditation. I come out here on this balcony and I just sit and breathe in the trees around me and figure out how to breathe again. Because even though this sounds like something I'm skipping into, and look how, you know, exciting this is, it's really the scariest thing I have ever done. And it's hard. And it feels lonely. And yet I know it's worth it. So if there's anything you feel lonely about, know that you're not alone. There's someone else out here in the world that feels really lonely, because I've got some ideas, some crazy ideas, and this family is coming with me with these ideas, and it's now all of our manifestation of our dreams. It's just coming together in a way that is messy and also worth it. So all that to say, thank you. Thanks for being here, and please invite others that you think might be interested in this journey. I would love to have a whole community that is supporting creatives, supporting a new way of being for creatives, a new way of finding support. You know, creatives can't just go out and do workshops and gigs and shows nowadays. This is how we do it. We have to do it in a creative way. And although, you know, you don't have a tip jar to put something in, you know, remind your friends that a $5 tip in a creative's jar is a big deal. So $5 a month can be a big deal for us who are working forward to this dream on the bare minimum at the moment. And any kind of support is recognized, it's appreciated, and I truly do believe that this is the new evolution of creative lives. So thanks for being a part of it, thanks for seeing it, and thanks for your support. Love to you. Mwah. Bye.